Howdy ho guys, it's Bo here again, welcome to another Bo Changing vlog. Man, I love spring. Like it's like 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. right now, and it's still bright, man. Like it's amazing. Anyway, in this entry I wanted to talk about an additional perspective to the entry I made about strength, right? And how most people are fighting against ghosts in the world, right? And that additional perspective is that there are actually two types of empowerment in life, right? There is, and of course, like my last entry was about unconsciousness, and so I'm not so in kind of alignment with that entry. Like, just want you to know that like none of these is wrong. It's just like a perspective, right? So the first type of empowerment comes from control and direct, like, power achievement, you could say. This is the kind of strength, but like it's more about the feeling of empowerment. It's about the feeling of like, yes, I am the best. That kind of a feeling. It comes from like triumph and like winning over your reality or your environment, right? And so this is typically what most people use to empower themselves, right? It's like achieving some kind of goal, beating some kind of opponent. That's how they get that feeling of empowerment, right? But then there's also a second form of empowerment, which is empowerment through surrender, right? Which is something that is practically unheard of in today's society. Like today's society is all about alpha, go-getting, beat your fucking opponent into the ground, succeed, like fucking destroy the competition. You have to win. It's all like very yang, you could say. But there actually is another form of empowerment, which is, I guess, the yin component to empowerment, that leads to empowerment, right? And when I say yin, like it kind of implies that like women kind of tend to do this more naturally. But like the thing is that what I've observed anyway is that women nowadays tend to be more yang as well. Like it's just the kind of prevailing kind of tactic is to be yang, is to be in your face, aggressive, to win, to overpower, to dominate. And I'm actually thinking back, and I did an entry called indirectness, and like, why it rules, right? That's not the exact title, but like it was something along those lines, where I talked about, my own personality type, which tends to be more indirect, more passive, more kind of like slip out of your grasp and like be silent from your life for many months kind of a person. And sometimes I'm not proud of that, but like I'm trying to reform myself, but like at the same time, that kind of is another kind of component to this, right? So the reason why this is rare is because of the prevailing kind of like yang kind of an energy about or paradigm, I should say, like that society kind of a society kind of like proliferates in a way, but so like I don't really need to talk about that one, because it's so obvious, like rather I want to spend this entry talking about the second type, which is like empowerment through surrender, right? And there's actually a tale that I forget who exactly told. I think it was Ram Dass. Like, I'll post the interview where he told this story in my description below. But like, I'll just give you kind of a quick summary of it. Like, so basically, this tale is about this I guess this is like ancient China or something like that. And there's a general who is like known to be ruthless and like cruel and just like dominant. And he goes around like conquering these different areas of ancient China, right? And one day he hears that there is a monk or a priest living at one of the monasteries who claims that he isn't scared of him, right? And this is, the general who everyone is scared of, who is infamous, just the mere mention of his name strikes fear into the hearts of of people, right? But he hears of this monk, this priest, who says that he is not afraid of him, right? And so obviously curious and looking to kind of rough him up a bit, I guess, he goes to the monastery where this monk is, right? And so he enters the temple, and everyone else runs away and cowers in fear, right? But this one monk stays in this temple, right? I guess all of the other kind of monks and priests and whatever just left because they knew that this general was coming. But this one priest or monk remains, right? And so the general charges into the hall where he is, right? Finds him, goes up to him, I guess starts to try to intimidate him, right? I heard from someone, I heard from my subjects that you're not afraid of me. Why is that, monk? Do you not know how powerful I am? Do you not know that all it would take is one swing of my sword and you would be dead and nothing more than a piece of shit? I'm using my own words, but essentially, I can easily destroy you, basically, is what you're saying. And the monk replies, and don't you know who I am? General. I am the, I am the one who will not resist at even one bit as your sword plunges into me. Essentially, I'm the man who will be at the mercy of your sword without any resistance. Basically, what he's saying is I will not resist. Therefore, I am not. I cannot be hurt by you. So I hope I told that tale okay, but essentially and the finale of the kind of conclusion of the story is the general sees the conviction obviously coming from this monk, and so he actually gains respect for the monk and leaves him alone. I don't know if that's exactly what happened, but essentially, yeah, he leaves the monk alone because he sees that this monk has a strength of his own, despite the fact that he could be easily dominated in a yang kind of a way. He has yin strength. It's yeah, go ahead, slash me, kill me, I don't give a fuck. Do it. You think you can hurt me? Do it. I dare you. I invite you to do it. Do it. I'm do it. Do it if you want, And so this kind of a thing, because, life is chaos, right? I mentioned this in my recent entries. Life will throw all kinds of shit at you, right? And you can approach this by looking to win. Okay, cool. I'm gonna win you, I'm gonna win over you, life. I'm gonna beat you until you're my bitch. That's the typical way, That's type A, That's just an approach, right? But then the second way is complete surrender. It is to say, go ahead, kill me, right? And of course, I'm not saying this literally, but I'm saying when you can't win, try to win, try to win, try to prevail over life, by all means go for it. That's cool, right? But when you are up against a wall and you can't win, the other way that you can gain power is to just launch yourself into surrender fully. Surrender fully and just say, do it. You can't hurt me. And obviously when you say that, it doesn't mean you can't actually hurt me. It means hurt me, you know, and I will be hurt by you. You know, because the average person is going to be like, no, don't hurt me, you know, like, I won't let you hurt me, I will defend you, you know, I would defend against you, you know, you can't hurt me. But the other person's like, hurt me, you know, I don't necessarily want you to hurt me, but if you're going to hurt me, get it over with, you know. I will be hurt by you, I will be destroyed by you, and I will live another day. And it takes you kind of going through the process of surrendering, because like, obviously in this kind of a society, like a society which is focused more on like the yang way of doing things, which is like, you know, dominance and like winning, right? It can be perceived that surrender is weakness. You know, you're a pussy if you surrender, right? Not necessarily, right? If you allow yourself to experience like complete surrender to whatever is happening to you in the moment, whether that be another person just like going ham on you, you know, whether it be something physically happening to you, or like if you were just drowning in your own despair and depression and fear and anger, right? Try surrendering to it. Try just being like, I'm so angry. I'm so angry. I'm angry. I'm so angry. Ah! I've tried so hard to resist my anger, or like I've tried so hard to like not be depressed, but I'm fucking depressed. I am depressed. I'm resisting the fuck out of life. Okay then, do it. Right. When you truly surrender to this, like, you will feel empowerment, and it will like blow your mind, because it's like, you know, the world tells us that we have to win in order to be powerful, right? And you know, yeah, you beat someone in a game, or like you achieve something in life, you win, you know, you win something, you feel like, fuck, I'm fucking amazing, right? But you can get the same feeling when you cannot win from fully surrendering. You know, being like that monk and being like, okay, slash me, kill me, do it. You know, I am scared. I'm not going to deny that I'm scared. I'm not going to deny anything. I'm just going to lay back, let whatever happen happen. And like that typical resistance that you feel towards, like, you know, losing, or like being hurt, or like being afraid or resisting, when you let go of that shit and it evaporates, like the power comes into you, because you're like, nothing can hurt me. You know, I let that shit like happen. I let like the fear like completely like get like sink its claws into me. You know, I let that anger completely consume me. I let whatever, like someone, well, like someone beat the shit out of me, or like someone like just like completely tear me a new asshole. You know, I let that person do that, or I let that person like take advantage of me, or like, you know, it's not necessarily an aggressive thing. It could be a passive thing. Like, you know, I let this person like trick me. I let this person manipulate me. I let this person disrespect me and everything that I stand for. He called like my mama a bitch. I don't know, like he called my girlfriend a cunt. You know, whatever, right? And that anger, and you try and resist it, right? Like, you know, because like we've been taught that, like, you know, you have to win, right? And when you can't win, and when you've been like sucker punched, essentially, you're like, resistance, right? But if you would just surrender, you know, like let your ego just be completely steamrolled and ripped to shreds, right? And just be like, cool, let it take me. Let it fucking take me. Like, I feel like shit. I feel like I'm worthless than a piece of shit. Let it take me then. You might come out the other end. If you do it properly, you will. You will feel like, this guy hurt me, and yet I'm still alive, and yet I surrendered fully to it. Right? Nothing can hurt me. Like, that's kind of an articulation of it, but really what just happens is, like, because you just release all resistance to that shit, you just like, yes. You just like, you get the same feeling as if you had won. Like, you get the feeling from either winning or accepting defeat, basically. Winning which involves struggling, striving, dominating, being the best, willpower, all of that typical stuff, right? But accepting defeat means when you do lose, when you are tricked or manipulated or whatever, right? When you find yourself in the throngs of despair, you just say, cool, here is despair, here is despair, and I thought so much, so hard that it would crush me. Fine, let it crush me. And you go into it and it's like, it didn't crush me. If anything, like, I went into it fully and surrendered. Released, the kind of resistance towards like, oh, that's weak, or like that's wrong, or like you're like letting that fucker like get away with this shit. No. And like, you sink into that and it's like, let it crush me. It didn't crush me. The fact that you even let go of your defense and just went fully surrender. Like, you come out and you're like, fuck. Like, I cannot be crushed by anything. When I just, become a pussy and let whatever life happen to me. I emerge the other side fine, relieved, probably better placed than your opponent or whatever, like just an additional perspective. But like, most people like go away and they win and it's like, it was like a grueling battle and like fucking like so much bloodshed, literal or metaphorical, right? But like, if you learn to surrender, if you learn this tool of surrender, if you learn that like empowerment can also come through surrender, then like you can like be fucking crushed by your defeat and accept it, and then emerge lighter than the other person will be for the next month. Because they're still like, even though they won, they're scared of the next opponent, right? They're trying to fight ghosts, right? They're protecting against the next thing. They're anticipating you coming up and trying to like take their title, or like to like one up them again, to take revenge, right? And so they live in fear, and like, even though they did win and they did get that empowerment, like they might be fearing, like, the resistance comes back, right? But you surrender. Cool. Let whatever happened happen to me. Let it rip me apart. Let it fuck me up the arse. I'm using this crude example because it's like, that's kind of what it entails. Like, whatever you fear, you have to just surrender yourself to it, right? This is how you then reach emotionally, energetically. This is how you reach empowerment. This is how you empower. One, of course, is I struck you down, therefore I am powerful. The second is I withstood your blow. That is why I'm powerful. See, so cool. I hope that was insightful. It was like an interesting little perspective that you hopefully will be helpful to you. And as always, I will catch you guys in the next entry. Peace out.